Good morning, everyone. The present world of race against time and ways of different life of Western culture, doing business, growing up in a different way, life has become a little difficult. And as a teacher, I can well understand
ಆಯ್ತಾ
the
ಇವತ್ತು
present.
ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆಗಳಿದೆಯಾ ಸರ್? ಎಷ್ಟೋ ತನಕ ಸರ್? ಫುಲ್ ಡೇ. ಏನ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆಗಳು?
It's a tough task for all of you to carve the younger generation. Before you start teaching him something, he or she will say, yes, I have much more knowledge than what you have, maybe through ChatGPT or other AI articles, what they have. But still, in spite of all this, what I would like to do today, since it's a sort of soft skill, I thought having done some work on the strategic management, I'll teach you some perceptions, some level where you can still contribute something more to the younger generation and the society. Because one should have a free mind to do what he or she wants to do. And with that, if we can still penetrate more and do something, it should work much better. And in the longer run, you'll start enjoying the work, what you do, and you'll be able to see a better part of life, having contributed something more along with it. So the present government is keen to slightly deviate from the main line, start with something more along with the normal curriculum. So with that, keeping that in the mind, I thought today's session I'll start with something little away from the normal line. Maybe some of them will look like more of a moral lecture, and there are a few models which I will try to tell you mainly to know so that you can have a different perspective about how you should think and how you should be able to generate something out of it. Incidentally, today's education is no more cheaper. It's very costly. And people are more worried about the expenditures as well as the time factor. And incidentally, education today is not a mere qualification. Some of them want to do further study. Some of them want to immediately switch off to get something back onto the financial tracks. So more of them have become job oriented, and subjects which are not relevant to them, most of them are not very keen to even know about it. Earlier days, we used to think, yes, knowledge is power. Today, they don't want to have knowledge which is not relevant to them. With this background and the curriculum, what it is, I would like to bring something along with the NEP, what has come into you over a period of time in the last 5 years or whatever it is. So today it is not the student who has to study, it is the teachers also have to study, keep upgrading themselves, and without that, with the AI coming into the picture, the survival of teachers are also going to be little difficult and also different. So keeping that in the mind, my further lecture for the next 2 hours or so will be there. Any questions at the end of the session, you are most welcome to ask. I'll try. If I'm not able to complete the first session full, I'll try to carry a little more into the second session. Please pardon me in case if I stretch a little more onto that. The first part, I'll cover mainly onto the strategic management along with the slight of skill set, which is part of it today. And in the second session, I am planning to start something with a personality management along with a forgotten concept of so-called ethics. So based on this proven study of whatever I could do and some life experience of last 4 decades of whatever I could do in it, I'll try to bring some concept to you. Because today, even the careers are very demanding and there's a lot of change day in and day out. And except the change, nothing is permanent today. So it will be more of a value-based education, which I would like to give it to you. The new system of NEP 2020, when it started, the concept was to have a very holistic, multidisciplinary education for student to possess critical capabilities for skilled job creation and augmenting employment avenues. So what it does, it brings amount of professional, vocational, and aligning the latest knowledge, whatever is available, should be part of the requirement which is required for the student. Gone are those days, you have a set of books, come with that, finish it, same syllabus, continue. And today's syllabus is changing, mind of the people is changing, and with no alternative, we have to change. Earlier days, when you used to get some question out of syllabus, we used to make some noise out of it, students. Today, the same out of syllabus is taken part of the system in a different terminology case out of the box. See, the terminology is only different. Same sentence come, but yes, the thought process has changed. So you are supposed to have it part of that. Out of the box thinking is more important in today's teacher's life, and that is most important. But for that, to survive for a teacher, knowing what he knows is not exactly what is required today. He is supposed to know what he is otherwise not known to him at any stage. So that is the reason I wanted to start something like strategy, because it's a set of sense of direction, nothing other than that. It gives you a very clear target as to what you are supposed to and what are the rewards at the end you are supposed to get. And in case if you don't follow it, what are supposed to be the consequences? So basically, a well-defined strategy gives a clear roadmap with certain guiding map, guiding rule, principles, and few responsibility which are laid out on the face of the people and involved into their roles and what are supposed to be his set priorities and other things. So end of the day, it has only two things if you can think. One is plan, what is the achieving goal, and what is the path in between, how you fill up the gap over a period of time. Before I go much into that, let me just see why should we need a strategy? Because basically it gives an ample scope as to what you are there for and how to understand the reality before you start jumping into it. So it gives a very good perception as to what should be there in front of you before you start walking into the path. It basically makes you to identify and assess what are the requirements and what is the right type of people who can accomplish along with you and what is the right type of the job you are to do. So the first one tells you what you are there for, what you are looking for. The second one tells you how to make the team and how to go about it. Then comes the next. It makes the stakeholders align with them, start working together so that end result is exactly what you wanted and how you wanted to go about it. Also, it makes the path very clear. Instead of jumping into that, it sets process stage to stage and makes the team to understand how to go into deeper into the system. Wherever there is a problem, rectify, realign, make a new process so that end task, what you are supposed to be, you should be able to accomplish it. It also makes effort to resolve the issues which are in between. It's very common there. And it makes you to ascertain the problem areas, how to overcome it, and how to change in case the whole target is to be changed. Today, a mere degree qualification does not make you reach to any top. It is much more than that. And there is a reason for you to visualize, yes, how to read the process, because the competition is very high. Every child thinks he is ultimate. You will see most of the kids, especially when they are put into the LKG or PKG, every parent thinks her child or his child is supposed to be the ultimate, and everybody start. And that concept keeps going all through. And end of the day, when he reaches a stage of 18 or 20, the competition is so high, where to jump in, how to jump in is very difficult. So the task of grooming them, restructuring them, making them all right into the system comes in the hand of you people, because when you take classes for a graduation, that is the time the mind opens up for a student. So how to track them, how to put in the right track, it's more important. We had seen so much of revolutions and various plays, mainly it is not target-oriented approach in our study system. And that sort of culture is coming very high. So with a focus on your target, you can change the mind, you can make them much contributory into the system. So in this, what normally you think, it's a very simple target. You plan for something, design, then make a policy and achieve. What you do over a period of time with various other factors coming, add little masala to prepare the combination again. What you want, put some economic factor, put some material, put some resources, and there is a planning aspect, there is a periodicity, and align the agency whichever all available to you. If you can do this particular set of things, that is what you will make you to realize what you want the final product to be. So your decision will keep revolving around these factors, what you have and what is the time and what is the time frame and how we are going to reach that. So with the system of education being value-based today and knowledge dependent, you need to be prepared to change your frame of mind more often, accustomed and getting adjust to the present environment, whatever it calls for, and keeping the change as regular for you so that you keep moving from one place to another place and you are part of the process, part of the progress, and also you are there to see the end result, what you want to do. Strategy can be political, it can be military, it can be economical, or it can be any other factor. But basically, the concept is supposed to be for a basic purpose, which is you are all there for something called a nation building. And the bottom line, it basically involves every aspect of the channel, which sometimes it's upwards, which time downwards, and everything is there. I'll tell you very simple where the strategy started. When the NEP started, government has given, they did a big study from 2015 to 20. Finally, it was implemented in 20. Government gave something, it came to the UGC. UGC gave it to so many states gave it to so many universities gave it to so many colleges given it to their department. Each department had given to their own people. End of the day, you have your own set of strategy, how to implement it. So at every stage, it needs an execution plan, it needs an action plan, it also needs a review plan. So in real sense, you do it every day morning. I don't need to tell the word of strategy. You do it on a day-to-day basis. I'll come something later onto that particular part of it. In a simple corporate terminology, strategy can be a long term. It can be short term. Like I happen to put on a uniform, be in military, we have something called tactical plan and strategical plan. In corporate term, they call it as mission. They call it as mission. Mission is nothing but a short-term plan. You want to do this, maybe for the day, maybe for a month, maybe for 2 months maximum. A strategy for the long term. Business has got a long plan of 20 years, like we are thinking of 2047 today. So that's a strategical plan for next to 25 years, what we are supposed to do. So short-term objectives are there, long-term objectives are there. Suddenly there is some change in the process. Your college calls you and tells you, yes, this is what is to be done. This should be done in the next 15 days. So they have a short-term action plan and also long-term action plan for it. So nothing but what in corporate terminology you call it as vision and mission. Same thing you do. What you do, you have a set objective, you have an action plan, you have an approach path, and you have a process planning. So in the process of strategic management, what you normally do, you normally set up a particular objective. In the objective, you say, yes, who should be the leader? What should be the plan? What is the short term? What is the long term? I'll tell you very simple logic now. You all have come for a course, 7 days course or 15 days course or whatever it is. For some people, it may be career oriented. They want to do the best out of it. They want to learn something. They want to utilize for a longer term. Well and good. For some people, it is, yes, I know something more about it. Why not gain little knowledge? It also may be a break from my normal monotony. I am getting into it. For some people, it may be a time pass. Sorry for being it. I am being very clear about it, what I am trying to say. It is some pastime for him. Yes, he also wants to learn something, meet some people in this account and try to know a little more, gain some knowledge. So each one has got a different perception for this particular thing. One person may think, yes, all these courses I should try to make so that I want to go beyond being a professor, reach some more level. It is there. So at every stage, it has got some meaning into the career, depends upon what his perception, what is acknowledgement to that particular event, and how he wants to derive something out of it. It makes it. So the goal depends upon what you want to do, and strategy exactly tells you how you want to go further into that. So the second stage comes an analysis, what you normally do it across. So the analysis, why you do it, you should, whatever you plan, though resources are there, planning, everything else, are you able to sustain it? To what extent you will be able to withhold it and do what is supposed to be there. Then comes the further thing is sensibility of that particular event, how you prioritize, how you do the resource planning, what all is available for you. See, at times what had happened, everything is available for you. It may not work it. The policy changes. Like we have a case like Enron. The government spent close to 6,000 crores. Everything was set up. Political parties were such that some of them didn't want to do it. There were other reasons. The project did not take place. On the other side, Narmada Andolan was so much problematic. System came. The project got through. So there are a lot of things. When you feel that you cannot do it, you will not be able to do it, you may be able to execute it. At the same time, when everything is there, last moment it can crash. You don't know what can happen. So why this particular thing is, you should be able to plan for something subsequent to that, what it can happen and how you hold your responsibility at particular stage. So you should be knowing the nitty-gritty of each event, each aspect, and it should be analyzed in such a way you should be able to withhold the problem if at all they come into that. And more than that, you should be able to prioritize what all you want to do, and everything cannot be. So if you have a team member, each one feel that his requirement should be met. Like in the table board, when they do the designing of an aircraft, everybody wants. So finally, it cannot become a fighter aircraft. It will become like a huge transport aircraft. So there's a lot of difference. So when a person sits there, he should be able to say how to negotiate, how to do across. This process, it touches you. The plan should be clear in such a way that you should be able to specify what is the role of each one, what they are supposed to be doing, how well you know well about them, and also what is the objective and how it ends up in achieving the key result what you want. So this is part of that. And one more thing, everything does not go the way you want. So there are problems, and there are likely to be problems, and there will be problems. So you should be able to review, do some research, go back to the same cycle, start doing it. Even if it is good, again it has to be done because you want to improve the cycle, you want to do something more. Even if it is bad, you get back to the same cycle, yes, make the momentum on, so that end result you should be able to achieve what you wanted. So in simple logic, what went well, what did not, and what are the opportunities for improvement. And you should be able to do some brainstorm and bargaining techniques and different things. It should bring rose, thorn, and the bud. All three are in the same stick. So we should feel, yes, we cannot negate this. We should not be able to have this. That's not possible. We should be able to have it. What we should do, start, stop, continue. If at all going well, go further. If there is a problem, get back to the board, make a change. So in real sense, what I'm telling today, it's not something very big about it. No technology is required, nothing. Every day morning you do it. I think every housewife also will be doing it as to how to plan for the day, what is available there, how to make it, and also relate to the time, relate to the other commitment, everything. So it is nothing a big terminology of strategy has brought into you. It is only what you do on a day-to-day basis. Make it more methodical. You will be able to systemize things and think, yes, this is what is best important. So the process is almost similar. What do you do? Goal setting, analysis, strategy formation, strategy implementation, and strategy monitoring. This I talk in the corporate terminology. These are the 5 words. And when you want to ensure the success, you need to do a reverse processing. It's called a reverse engineering. So that when the problem comes, you do the reverse of it. What do you do? Define the problem, gather information about the problem and do an analysis, evaluate, develop alternative options and other alternative which are available, and choose the best option which can reach you to the target and what you wanted. In fact, most of the companies, you ask anybody, they say they are in a meeting, they are in a meeting. It's a very common thing. So what they do is, most of the people, they spend more time on problem analysis and problem solving, because when they take a new project, first they do, like when you write a program, you do more validation to see where all the problem comes. Is writing a program is very easy, coding is very easy, but if you don't cater for those problems, that program is of no use. So that is the way system is to be done. So in other words, also you can say 5 C's. What is that? Company, collaboration, customer, competitor, and contact. This is how the corporate talks about. Normally, the strategy is of 3 levels. One is the top level, one is the middle level, one is the lower level. This is the different way. In other thing, I say in the corporate level, unit level, and function level. It's all basically how you change the words into it. The first one is for a long term. They think of 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, how we have, it's a different milestone in it. So they get into the different operational strategy to see what can be done, what all is required, how the perception is there, what can happen in India in the next 20 years, what transformation is going to place, what is the technology advancement they do it. And a similar one, next is operational is, your NEP has been given 5 years back, how we are going to implement for it, or you got a new syllabus which has come to you, how we are going to change over in the system and start doing it. That's so the case. That's nothing but an operational strategy, because day-to-day affairs are there. Functional level is on the face, like you sit there, you are there in the class, how you continue your class today for the day, how we are going about it, more important. So you make your own analysis on it, go about it. So when there is a total policy change, the whole structure from top up to bottom will change. What it does is, it allows the system run to a defined and changed process as and when it is required. Strategies, basically it is different, and also from different times and different people, since everybody think differently, it is absolutely changes. So there is no set of principle to say this is how it should be. It cannot happen. So it depends upon your way of mind, what you want to do, how you want to do. So to visualize everything, you put the factors into a dabba, try to churn it out, find out the pros and cons, and incorporate the people, agencies, whoever is available, setting the process into move and periodically to develop. I keep changing my words of strategy over a period of time from the beginning to now. As I keep little giving input, I keep addressing the same strategy in a different way, so that you, like when people say, when you read Mahabharata, when you read Ramayana, 10 times you read, the knowledge goes off. So every time you feel the name of the strategy gives you a different concept. So if I define strategy, it's nothing but a general plan or a set of plans intended to achieve something over a long period of time, and how to plan, reach there. And for a business, the strategy refers to all decisions taken, all action undertaken by a business for achieving a longer vision. So this is how it is. Now I'll just come to the types of strategy. It's a very simple logical concept, because most of them has got sheer set of logic. It only changes from time to time in a different way. So what you normally do, linear program, you must have, because I don't know what is your background, most of them. It's a very clear set. You write in a ladder, what is that from the top to bottom, everything is very clearly laid out. So it's a simplest form of management. The process are very clearly laid out. It doesn't make any major change. Every Sandy has got his own pockets. He gets in there, execute and get back. Top to bottom, all the thing, any changes in it, it changes from top to bottom. So whole set changes. Adaptive techniques are on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes wherever the changes, we get adjusted. Suddenly you have some professor in the college who is not there for next going 2 months or something. Your system changes to the requirement based on that you do it. So this all basically it is situational and mainly meant for a crisis management. But system is expected to adjust without changing the nomenclature and other part of it. So it is like that. The interpretive strategy management, which you talk about, there is a possibility that the mission may change, your own concept will change, there may be more complexity in the system. So, based on that, you adjust your whole system. There may be something, but quite a bit of them, there is no transcription available. It is more of a verbal statement. Somebody say, yes, something is going to happen. If at all it is, we should get adjusted to that. Expressive management is nothing but a combination of adoptive and interpretive. So basically, there is absolutely a clear communication available to say what it is, and with the mission and vision, both they don't change in the process. The last say total setup. When you say a new setup has come, existing sucker is exactly there. Along with the existing structure, you make a new setup. Tomorrow onwards, we are going to move into the new building. We are going to the new system. So the existing system goes on, it parallelly starts into that and we just switch over to that. Yes, hiccups will be there. So most of the strategical works are done at the back end. They are not in the front end. And they make up change, they make prioritize, and new changes always welcome. And you will always rejoice what you have done over a period of time. The main part of the whole thing is this. This gives you a conceptual idea, maybe a little more information I'm trying to put into that, mainly to know you can exactly think what it is supposed to be. A balanced scorecard is nothing but your Excel board. Everything is given, every start is put into that. Everybody's plan is given, who is supposed to be there in the pigeonhole, he's put into that. It's a high level planning which has been taken place before this process is brought into that. So what it does, it tells you what's your objective, what is the process, what is the measure, everything is there, no deviations and no confusions. It's like when somebody comes for audit, they tell you these are the document, everything is as per the document, every system is documented. So it is everything is preset, nothing goes left and right. It's a wonderful model, but yes, it needs a lot of system study before you make it. The SWOT analysis we invariably do in most of the things just to see what is our strength, what is our weakness, what are the opportunities, what are the threats. Based on that, we keep adjusting over a period of time. It's very common in most of the industrial parlance, we accepted it. Pest is nothing but what I talked about, Enron and all. It's all part of the pest. What I do, it has got political, economical, socio-cultural, and technological. Suddenly, things policy may change, so they all come into that. Suddenly, there is a technology development, the old technology totally dies. You have how to survive. So, this pest model comes into those sort of form. Or suddenly, COVID has started. What happened to all the industries? Things are gone. So this pest control, a pest model comes into that particular thing. Gap planning is our day-to-day adjustment. Where something has happened, there is a thing available, we have to switch over, start into that. It's very good. It's only bridging, there is a gap. Suddenly something has happened, we go onto the road, some patch is there, so we divert and get onto that and go. Blue ocean strategy is something for a conceptual idea. Everything is open. It's like you stand on the shore and see the sea. It's there. It's a monopoly. There's nobody entered inside. It's a new vision you got. Start doing it. It's a horizon which you can reach to what extent. So it has got a lot of resources. It has got a lot of knowledge. It has got a lot of technology. It has got new implementation. You have open mind. The reverse of is the red line. It is like a subji market. If you are not there, somebody is there. He is going to encourage, do it. If this mobile does not go, if this soft drink is not there, somebody. So it's a competitive market where you have no identity for your own product or your own self. So this is what happens in the competition with students to do. But what I would like each professor to do, think into that concept of a blue ocean. You think something different you can do. Think and you will be able to reach much better. I have an experience. I'll tell you later part of it, how it is visible, how it is, you can make it across. So the pastors 5 is very small thing. It has got a 5 factors. It's a enemy threat, It has got a substitution of the product in case your product is not able to go into the market, how the competitor wants. And it has got a customer's bargaining power and supplier's bargaining power. It's a competitive rivalry. It's a day-to-day thing, how they keep adjusting. This is what most of the companies, they do on a monthly basis on their strategy. Okay, something had happened, somebody has come inside, how you change over into sort of. Rio is nothing but value, rarity, and imitability and the organization. What most of these Lalita Jewellers, all these things they do, these are all part of this. They have their own identity, but at the same time, they try to bring some new variables, get into the market, and still try to penetrate and hold their market share. So, this Baldry's model, which you normally I want to show it, it is a neat platform which is made most of the competitions and all. They normally it has got a set of questionnaires. Within the questionnaire, they address, but it's a very accepted system in most of the countries because it has few factors which it brings inside. It has a tremendous analysis which has been doing it. So based on that, it has a factor of leadership. It has a factor of planning. It has got a strategy. It has got a customer insight. It has got the workforce insight. It has got a process. It has got what is the result. Everything is analyzed in the form of a questionnaire to see whether that particular system should be there or not. This is next one is very simple. What is the objective and key result oriented? So that is a very short term thing. Issue based is again on a day-to-day basis what you normally do. Second, again is again goal-based system. What the goal-based system is, what you do is a reverse process engineering, what you do. The previous one is normally on a need-based, but this one is meant for the reverse-based system when things go wrong. Mainly start from the trail end and come back to the origination, how you plan across. Alignment basis, wherever there is a hiccup supposed to be, it is analyzed on a day-to-day basis. You have so much of thing like something has happened today, the local authorities are not allowing me to do, I start changing. Then again, something else happened, somebody has come to help me again. These are all the system. Basically, it is an internal operation which you try to do on a day-to-day basis and try to achieve the task. Organic model is mostly very unconventional, but it's very difficult to follow also in our Indian system because it's a most of a value-based system. Because it focuses mainly onto the vision, it is onto the value with the plan and process, and there is no change it allows whatsoever it is. It wants the natural system to function as it is, and all the stakeholders should do what they are supposed to be. There is no change available. So in our system, it's more possible in a system like Japanese where they go on absolutely clear structure without deviating. For us, it becomes little difficult because the whole community becomes responsible for it. In our side, we are not able to see such sort of evolution into Indian system to do that. Real-time analysis is again based on your operational requirement. Scenario planning is onto that. Unsolved matrix, it talks about a matrix which is made based on the market penetration, product development, market development, and diversification. What it does a level analysis of what is the risk on each strategy. And they have different type of strategy debate and how you do penetration along with the risk and diversification need to. This normally happens when they try to introduce a new product. When something is new is introduced, you normally do this sort of analysis. The 7S model is, it has got 7 factors, which is supposed to be called as a Kinsey model, it's called as. It emphasizes on 7S, that is structure, strategy, system, the skill, style, staff, and what is the shared value for each one of them. What it does, it analyzes the current interconnection between the people and the factors in it, and the strategy is made based on how we can shift over to the new system of this. Consent analysis, what is the problem for unit? And it vocally, what it does, it talks about the faulty in the system, shortage in the labor. It is mainly what is the unhealthiness into the system, then what is the culture, how you can change the culture, and when there is a poor market condition you have, and what are all the bottlenecks in the process what you have. Finally, it is a problem solving analysis, and it is mainly issued independently by a particular body. It is not part of the organizations. So many of these mainly gives you a clear idea as to how you should start the thinking when you jump into a sort of strategy when you want to do. Come to the approach, how you implement all your thoughts. Basically, it needs a very good leadership and starts with what is the origin and what is the perception. The best form of strategy is normally seen on its implementation. The organization goal and the line of activity should be clear, well assigned, and make sure it moves. It's like ICSA for 10 years back, they gave so much of tasks to the people, it becomes very difficult for the people to follow, and customers also equally stressed. So it cannot be there. It should be viable process, you give it across, and the process should be well undertaken by the people in the who are involved into it. It can be conservative at times, it can be little open-minded, but at the same time, the strategy should be implementable. That is more important. The British boss model is everybody becomes a boss, everybody holds his ego. Ultimately, it becomes very chaotic. Nobody will listen to anybody. He will say, either it is my way or highway. That's the way it is. And the first one, origin, it has got a very good hand-holding system. Whereas here, nobody holds each other. Everybody wants him to be the boss and somebody should be the subordinate. It's very difficult to work in it. So each one will be invariably pulling each other to do that. So it doesn't work. Democratic model is a very open system, very common, which is normally found in most of the Japanese system. At times they take all the input, may implement, may not implement, but the system is there in it. Participatory is also equally, it is done mainly at the top level. They make all the decision, come back to you and make you part of the system. These two are very commonly adoptable and it is there in most of the system available. Autocratic is simple logic, do what I say, period. There's nothing beyond that. So he tells you, process is made, you do it, you are there, you are not, if you are not there, it is only you either do it or face the consequence, get out of it. So what are the good attitudes, attributes? These are how to measure it. This is most important to see. So when you do all these things, where you stand, how do you go about it? One should have first a very clear objective. When you want to make a strategy, you should be able to measure it at every level to see how you are able to achieve. So your target should be very, very clear what you want. You should be able to analyze every aspect of it and then put it across before you do, so that every stakeholder will be able to understand what is his or her role and what is expected out of them. If there is no clarity, no objective is going to be achieved the way you want. So while identifying the clear vision, you also should be able to make what is achievable, what is not achievable. So one should be very realistic in the approach. You should be able to understand what is the urgency of the thing. Is it for long term? It is for short term. So understanding the requirement is equally important. The vision should be in line with the organization goal and the values of the organization and value of the people. All three should be measured and put, and it should be more inspiring for people to come and take it across. So you should be able to measure each one's value at particular stage, and you should be able to get the best work out of them in that particular concept. So the leadership should be in such a way where it moves them forward, it inspires them, it should be like a propeller so that the system moves into that. And what is most important, it's a commitment. It is not that they are part of the system. It should be involved, they should be committed and with a sense of discipline and responsibility. System should be transparent in such a way where it should be a two-way traffic. You should be able to identify, understand what everybody is doing, what is expected of you, what was done by you, what others have done. And without that, you cannot measure as to what people have done it across. So, end of the day, there should be a reward and reinforcement. It should be that there should be a reward available for the people as to what they have done. And you also should be able to take whatever is not correct, how to get it back and replow it across. So, strategy is nothing separate. It also involves some amount of skill. So what is the skill required of it? It involves the ability to think for the future. And based on your concept, your ideas, your virtues, and various challenges, what is involved, what you have faced over a period of time, these are all put into a dabba, you've shaken it and made something out of it. What comes out of it is the purpose for which you are doing it. So when you do the purpose, you should know your team, what is the respect for which you are doing, what is the caliber of the people to whom you had given, what is expected responsibility and reliability of those particular people. If all these things are not there, you are not good anything out of it. So every aspect of it, it has a breadth. So visualizing as to what is the future, it's more important. And in that, what is required is the scope and assessment of each successful factor you are supposed to do it across. So now coming to that, you should be able to write the finest of the people into your setup. What is the right approach? What is this perspective? So skills are to be identified by everybody more than you. What others are supposed to be doing, you should be knowing it across. It creates a sort of dependency into the system. And if you are a good strategist, you are mostly dependent in the whole system. So you should be able to develop a different type of skills into the minds of the people. What you carry with the strategy is most important. In personal life, strategy planning allows you to have your own setup, your own thing, what you do, and keep attaching it. Whereas when you look for an organization or a business, it has a target. You have to align yourself with the target. Move with that on a day-to-day life. You should know what is the creativity expected out of you. And a clear and clever ideas, if you can get it across. And end of the day, time factor is more important and periodicity is open. If you are not able to accomplish and focus on to that, then you don't get what you want. So a long-term focus is more important in achieving the full result what you want to the fullest satisfaction. And short-term problems and other things should be out. Also, each one will have a short-term goals in every narrative, and that should be able to do. Ultimately, the strategy should be an inspiration as well as the aspiration. So that you should be there. You should be able to find a place for these two, but for that, there's no point in doing anything in the long run. So the real power of strategy, a person is revealed by his process of staging the work, what is supposed to be accomplished, aligning, exploring, innovating, and creating a new path with all the analytical factor which is included, including the responsibility and the liability of owning all the problems. So people with such talent, always you will find them, they are people centric. Everybody would like to have them, and they will be approached, they will be able to do. So what you need to take the lead across, you should be able to be a figure in the nutshell. This caliber, what happens over a period of time, you take responsibility, you move forward. It increases your own strength, and you are most wanted in a group, and mainly at the time of crisis, not at the time of happiness. So you should be able to know where you stand in a setup. The real strength of people with strategy is always they are remembered in a long term by the people who are associated with them. And they always cherish, yes, this man had done something good for me. So as a teacher, you should be able to be remembered after 10 years or 20 years when your student does something good. That is what my target. I'm here for this 1 hour mainly to make sure, yes, you be one among them to say, yes, this is what is my accomplishment in life. Strategy is nothing but a mindset. It is nothing. It helps you, a person, in understanding the problem from a larger perspective with an object-oriented approach. What it does, it improves your skill, it improves knowledge, and end of the day, it improves your mindset. I will come little onto the skill development. That is basically, if you have to do, you have to keep evolving your own self into something to bring something more out of you. So what is required? It's nothing but a mere process of achieving a target what you are given, that you have done it across. Notwithstanding that, the practical aspect of execution gives you a amount of knowledge. More than the qualification what you have acquired, you have got an indirect certification from the people that you are something different in spite of what you have or what you don't have. Especially after the COVID, you have seen most of the online education. People don't have an approach to see what is correct and what is wrong. Most of the skills have been killed. You don't know things. So, skill management in real sense, what you have knowledge from the book, what you're really seeing has been suppressed. So, a real materialistic benefit, what can come only with such people who think out of the box, think something more than that, and think, yes, I can do this in spite of all the hiccups, whatever it is. So, what you do, you are grooming a person where the possibility is almost nil. So, in the long run, this process makes you to think something more than that. What it does, it makes you professionally extremely different. Professionally, you have a caliber which everybody don't have. It also has an effect of controlling the failures which are there in the people who are with you and reducing the disasters, and a sort of unprofessionalism which you expect. You have a tendency to reduce that. So, skill development, what it does, it not only emerges into the new field and others, it also makes the mind open, reduce the amount of criticism into the people, reduces the unprofessionalism, brings new knowledge, opens the mind to acquire new set of skills, new set of knowledge, and expanding the horizon what you have. Your vision literally expands on a day-to-day basis. You can think a good craftsman doesn't need to copy. He makes his own ideas. In fact, the Arinyogi is his grandfather's people. I had known this boy also for quite some time now. He has become famous. When I met his uncle and somebody, they say he sits every day morning, perceives as to what it is, and then he starts. So it is in the mind. So the strategist always finds his own way in placing himself, finding a place for him in a society, and how he can execute is totally different. What it needs is an experience to undergo the process of tough times. I have done my air show in Mysore. I had a lot of hiccups 25 years back. In 2001, I started. It was a normal Dashara which was there. I started openly. Yes, I had problem. 3 elephants ran. Press people came after me and at that time the deputy commissioner. Yes, we found an alternative. Today it's 25 years. I'm still enjoying that thing has started. So you have to start thinking. I ventured into a few ventures, schemes for the dependents and the widows of service person. It takes time. Getting into financial field is risky. I started. It is done. So an impression that you can do something, risk is there. You have to take the risk and start moving forward. Think something more. I am thinking of a new concept of medical tourism in Bangalore, next to the airport. That is their next process. Allow the mind to keep thinking more. You will be able to do much more. I had the opportunity of meeting Dr. Hashmukh Gadia, who happened to be the advisor to Gujarat government today. He was then PM, was the Revenue Secretary, Finance Service Secretary. This man, you have to meet him. End of the day, if you realize what he has done is research work. He had done his PhD on yoga, how it helps in the management. And this man doesn't talk about finance when you meet him. It was his idea. GST was his idea. Demonetization was his idea. But unbelievable. He's today even the non-executive chairman of Bank of Baroda. He's the chairman of the GIFT in Gujarat. Such people, when you meet them, it evolves your knowledge to see what you can do much more. So there are so many people do it. End of the day, keep your mind intact. Why I wanted to cover this sort of skill management is it makes you to think something more than what you think. It gives you a new path of strategy. It keeps making yourself on a day-to-day basis instead of keeping those ideal ideas. Start something, make some career progression, start moving forward. And that is the way the life has to be. Skill needs to be a planning, an approach path. It should be able to take the responsibility. It should be reasonable. You should be able to face new challenges which you never encountered with, and end of the day, find the best path and most effective solution you will be able to do it across. What you have to do to become a strategist? You should understand the core strategy. You should be able to develop your own setup. You should have a skill to understand what is required. It needs a sense of curiosity, and practice the visual strategy, more important. And what you have to do, it has to be nothing. You should be a good strategy means you need to do little basic research work to see what you are supposed to be, analytical thinking, skills of problem solving, need a good communication skill, and a way to accept others' knowledge as part of the system. End of the day, yes, you need a leadership skill to hold the team members hand holding and move them forward, and an attitude to overcome all the difficulties and problems and own the responsibility for it. You cannot blame your subordinates if you want to be a strategist. You have to hold the responsibility. You have to hold the blame. Yes, move forward. When it is credit, give it to them. It's part of the team. Like recently, what you had seen, Nirmala Sitharaman telling, it is all the state minister who have helped her. That is an approach. You cannot take the credit for you. You should be able to give the credit to people. Whatever is the problem, take it on you. It makes you to grow more, understand the system. So, and more than that, you should have originality in your own thinking when you want to be a strategist. And in the long term, it should be, you cannot be introverted. You should be intuitive. You should be thinking more and more. You should have the caliber of judging the system and moving forward. I have done my research work mainly onto the strategy of Karnataka tourism. I found something in it, I put it across. And that gives me, leave aside what I can improve the income of Karnataka tourism. It gave me a different way of thinking, how each country has thought of their own strategy to develop the tourism. Spain and France and all literally survives on tourism because 12 to 15% of their national GDP comes from there. So that is the way it is. In the process, what I have done it, I have studied the strategies of countries like France, Spain, Sri Lanka, Australia, Turkey, and all these countries, they might survive on our tourism strategy. In the tourism, especially France and Spain and Thailand, in spite of COVID, all the problem, they have emerged at a very high ranking into that. In spite of all the problem, they come up in the ladder. And incidentally, India gets merely 2% of the whole world's tourism revenue. So that was one reason which I thought I will do something. And yes, it's a pitiable part is we don't strategize our avenues what we have. Same what I did in Karnataka was we found Tamil Nadu percent, Maharashtra get 50%, Kerala get
इसको कुंदन है क्या दे रहा सजेशन नहीं जाने के
hello,
लिए
you're all teachers.
हाँ भर के फिर लाओगे
And Karnataka gets merely 3 to 5%. So we have to find a new path. I made some study in it. End of the study, I'll just tell you. I brought a concept of teaching, bringing the handicraft into the system, into the school itself. These are all part of the research I brought. And end of the day, what I found from my research work is a different strategy. What France have done, they have a different strategy. What they said, They may set up a new system where 6 concepts have been brought into it. They say that should be followed virtually for the next 20 years. What Spain has done? They were world number 2 in the position. They say, come what may, we should be able to hold the position. So they were making the system based on that. Australia said, move forward. We have more people coming from Asian countries. Make a strategy for India, make a strategy for other Asian countries. And based on them, you try to call people from India and China so that you can improve it across. Then Sri Lanka says we have untapped potentials. Why not explore it across? Why not do more? But Malaysia said we have dive tourism which is available, which we have not encashed it. Why not to do? Indonesia says it is part of our setup. So switch over all our economical growth into it. Tamil Nadu says we have to attract foreign tourism. So go on a high-end spending of people and attract them so that we can improve. The Maharashtra says we can create 1 million job out of it. So wherever you can generate vacancies, you can improve the tourism onto that, align in that aspect. Kerala says we have a medical tourism, which is different from all the country. Why not to do it across? Kashmir says our position is niche. Why not encash it and get the people onto that? Rajasthan says we have to develop a lesser known places, move into the new places, develop tourism on it. So each one has got their own way of doing it. That is the way we also have to do the system. The ultimate results it should be important. You will be able to get what you want. You have to make business proposition. You have to make all the other aspects, and one can play a strategy only as a king. Most of the strategies are a back-end players. They come to the team. You need to have more knowledge if you have to be a strategist. Keep reading, keep analyzing, keep involving yourself in the aspect so that you will know. End of the day, knowledge is power. You can be a leader only if you are a strategist. And will always remain in a tutor for a leader, and you will continue to be the one. Why I try to trigger all of you into this particular thing was, the younger generation needs people with lot of resources and lot of activities. You should be part of the system. What knowledge they get out of ChatGPT and others, it's all rhetoric. You can create. Nobody can replace a human being's brain. It's something so good. It's something which nobody can compare it. What is today, what you get a knowledge, you can make it something more. I have been into the system for a very long time. So you can give much more to that. And with a little risk of time, which you spend a time for it, make sure such effort and such caliber in a student is brought out. What is more important? You get happiness when you get involved into this sort of system. Nobody can compete. And you have to tune yourself, fine-tune yourself on a day-to-day basis. Try to make a system in such a way, the younger generation, they also become good strategists and make something good for the country. Like I always used to say, initiative is dangerous. Too much of it is fatal. But the second part is, after all, I live once, why not to take a chance? Do something good. You will always enjoy it. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.